after his deal, McKinnon's deal, everybody want to talk about Auston, even though he's still got 2 years left. He did say, I consider it home now in regards to Toronto. His no move clause kicks in July 1st of 23, which is also the same day he can officially sign an extension. So, if you just said if Nate's getting 12-6, you think Matthews is getting over 14. We'll keep an eye on that. That's some fucking insane money if that's the case. Well-deserved. But his GM, Kyle Dubas, is in the news for a similar reason, an extension, but because he's not getting one. Dubas is not getting an extension as he enters the final season of his current deal, giving him what's known as lame duck status in most industries. This could change, of course. Since he took over in May of 18, the Leafs own the NHL's fifth most wins, third most regulation wins, fifth best goal differential, and they've registered the 2 top regular seasons measured by points percentage in franchise history. But this is a results-driven business, and the Leafs haven't seen a second round since Grinelli was in grade school, for real. And they've lost 7 straight elimination games on Dubas's watch. But I took a look at the goals against average, all the goal numbers. That's everyone blames, well, the goalie stunk. But, Freddie back in 2019, 9.22 save percentage. Freddie in 20, 9.36. Campbell in 21, 9.34. And Campbell struggled last year with a 9.01. So, if Dubas doesn't get to the second round, is his job actually in jeopardy this year, or will they kind of look past the goalie aspect of things, you think?
I would say yes. I'll say this. Why would you give him an extension right now? Good team. You list off the numbers. You list off the advanced stats. You list off the wins fight. They haven't won a round in the playoffs. And it's the players who ultimately get it done. But who's going to eat it first if they can't do it again this year? It's the GM. You have to switch who's making all these decisions, who's deciding on the goaltending. And whether they do get great goaltending this year from Murray, or if they don't, it's still on the GM in the end, because this guy, as much as making them a contender and Biz thinks they're going to win 3 Stanley Cups in a row, they haven't done anything since he got there. So why would you give him an extension in that market?
Hey, they just removed the curse. Chara retired. There's no current players that the Leafs have beaten playoffs. The curse is done. As far as him not getting an extension, I think he was more just annoyed that it became a topic of conversation where he's like, listen, like he'll probably come at you with the same thing, that it's a results industry and they haven't provided any results come playoff time. Buddy, if they do it this year, he's going to probably be one of the highest paid GMs. And guys, it's not for a lack of effort either. Like if you were to want to pick a GM to run your team, if he doesn't re-sign with the Leafs because they don't have success, I would imagine that he has a GM position right away, because he's the type of guy that's going to get up in the morning and he eats, breathes, and sleeps it. And he cares about his players. His players care about him. So I
think he understands it. You think he's like, oh, I don't blame him.
Yeah, I think that he likes the competition, and why would he even want to sign a contract now without having any results when he's like, well, fuck, he hasn't done anything. If they go to the conference finals this year and they have a good run, he's probably looking at $1 million more than he was originally going to sign for. I think he's done an excellent job in creating a winning team. Last year was the first time they put up a respectable effort in playoff against a team that, in our opinion, with all the experience that they had, beat them. If they were to do exactly what they did last year, regular season wise, and then end up losing in Game 7 against another type of contender, I'd still be here saying sign Dubas to a 1-year deal to see if he can actually do it again. I wouldn't say
if they lose in the first round again.
If I just said if they lost next year in the first round, in the exact same result in which happened last year, I would be like, hey, here's 1 more year. Do you want to try to run it in Matthews' last year of his contract? Because that would be the last year of his deal. Let him at least see out what he did, right? Because if you look back on the big moves that were made by Kyle Dubas, that will be the what's the word I'm looking for? The end all be all will be the fact that he got bent over in contract negotiations between Marner and Matthews. Not saying that they haven't played up to what they're being paid right now, because we all saw what Matthews did last year. He earned every cent, right? But in the hockey world, it's hard justifying paying guys that much money unless they're proven. The guys like the Sids, or even now that McKinnon's got his money. No, if McKinnon wouldn't have a cup and then he would have got his money and then put his team in a little bit of cap trouble, given the number he's making, everybody would be bitching. But because he's won, they're saying, well, he earned every cent, fucking let it be, right? And then the last thing being the Tavares deal. Why couldn't they go get maybe that, another great top 4 defenseman that would help out, alleviate stress on goaltending, and even have maybe enough money to go pick goaltending? That's $11 million right there that could go to a top 4 defenseman and a obviously, look, I mean, what Kadri just get as one of the best second line center free agents in the National Hockey League. What he signed for, $7 million a year. There you go. So that those are, but if he's able to have success with those pieces and make it work, whether this year or next year, after Matthews is gone, or after the last year of his deal, if he still hasn't got out of the first round, see you later. The Kyle Dubas experiment is out, but I wouldn't write him off if they don't get over the first round this year. I think you got to let him see.
Think you're fucking crazy.
Because I don't think that there would be a good enough GM right now to replace him. The other argument that people use too, guys, is that to contradict myself is, well, Toronto also has twice the amount of resources as most of the teams in the league based on budget. They have the biggest analytics crew. They got the best goalie coaches. They got the fucking practice rink with the best fucking nutritionists.
They got the best Zamboni driver
they
goalies.
Got the best
who can beat them.
All of it, right? Best puck bunnies. They got it all, guys. They got it all. So, but to summarize, I don't think that he cares as much that he gets to go into this year proving what he's assembled. And I think that they're going to end up doing more than they have in the past. I think the curse is over.
Yeah, I know. You've made that clear for a long time now. I would, if I'm a Maple Leafs fan, and Matthews goes into his final season, it would be the next season without a extension that he could sign. That's panic time. That's panic time. I think as a Leafs fan, if you don't see him signing an extension and then playing the last year of his deal with his new deal already set in stone, the way McKinnon is doing, I think it's a full-blown panic.
I'm almost curious to know what's going on the inside, in a sense of like, because then if he were to sign an extension, he has control on what ends up happening and what's given to Matthews.
Yep,
so
true.
So I'm pretty sure they're making sure all of it aligns properly, and they could figure out the plan moving forward. All right, what do you think? Do you think, regardless of situation, if they lose in the first round this year, and obviously if they miss playoffs, he's gone?
I mean, if the goaltender flops, they got to take a long look at it. It's such a key position. I mean, like I said, Freddie played good for those first 2 years. Campbell was great that first year. He didn't do so good last year. But, I mean, if this is another fucking team that falls on its face because of the goaltender, man, I don't know. Do you consider all the good he did on one side and just offset the bad goaltending aspect? I don't think they even know. I think they're going to wait and see how the year plays out. But, I mean,
Merles?
I think it's 50-50. I was going to ask Merles. What do you think?
Yeah, I would say if I own the Leafs, I would tell him, I don't care what the team does this year in the playoffs. You get Auston Matthews signed for the next 10 years, and we'll give you a new contract. Because I'm hearing a lot of little birdies tell me Auston Matthews is heading west 100%.
That's
once
what
his
I keep hearing,
up.
that he's going to LA. So
yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
I don't know.
So I would get him, if you can get him signed, Kyle, then you get a contract too.
Does it feel like there might be a bit of a shift? And I know COVID had something to do with it, but I don't think it really does anymore, about Americans maybe not wanting to play in Canada as much as they used to, more for the taxes than anything else. Does it feel like there's a shift here, guys?
Well, he'd be going to California. I mean, that's what the rumor is. So he's going to be getting dinged the same. I was wondering this too. Do you guys think he would do more advertising dollars wise if he was playing in LA than he would Toronto in the hockey world?
Toronto's.
That's what I mean.
I mean, the Canadian dollar hurts that, but LA, like, how much actual advertisement is there for NHL players in LA, right? It's like, I don't see a ton being there for him. I mean, although he's one of the most marketable players in the league.
He just feels like a
put it this way, I feel like the
California guy,
Rangers,
though.
he could probably get more money off ice as a Ranger than a King.
All right.
He likes going to Vegas for those UFC fights. He likes being with the actors, the musicians.
He likes going to the second round. He
style.
probably wants to go to the second round.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I think I would be 50-50 on whether he's staying or leaving, because I think that right now he loves his situation in Toronto, and he is viewed as a hockey god, and he's playing in the biggest market. But 2 years is a lot of time to have to deal with Toronto media if you're not having any playoff success. So I think his mood could completely change in that regard. But I would say, as of right now, I would lean towards he's staying a Toronto Maple Leaf.